Alrighty, we are back again. I just forgot in the last one that we should also try to fit the front view. And you can see if I go to wireframe that it doesn't fit at all right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to make it fit better. And I'm just gonna smooth a bit. I really don't like those edge loops going over here. So I think that we might want to redirect them. So one edge loop is going down instead, or something like that. I haven't quite decided yet, but it just annoys me a bit with the nose right now. Yes, but I think I'm just gonna delete these again, and I think I'm gonna start extruding the head around, so we in a short amount of time can plug in the ear, because that would just be great to get the ear in. And yeah, because you will have to do tweaking anyway later on, so it's just nice to get the general things in, and then you can tweak a lot again and again until you have the result you want. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. So I'm using the scale and the move tool and the rotation tool. I'm doing that because I don't want this part to get too messy, and it can really get messy when you're trying to model the head shapes, because it's easy to get to add too much detail into your model at this stage, and you don't want that. You want to keep it as simple as possible. So this is the way that I like to do the head shape. I just think it's more intuitive to extrude it this way and get the roundness, and then you can extrude downwards to the neck. And now if I change the view, it looks funny, but that's okay because we haven't tweaked it yet. So I'm just tweaking again. So we wanna. It's kind of hard to tell people how they should make the flow, because I think a lot of it comes with practice. But you can see that these wings kind of spread out into the mesh to give it that flow. And also you can see there's more dent in here and around the eyes, and it spreads out as we get further and further out in the mesh. So I'm just trying to get it to give it more shape in the right places still. I think this is both the fun thing about modeling and also the thing why people don't like it. There's so much tweaking, and I think that it might kill the motivation a bit for some, but for other people it is a cool thing. I mean, I really like all this tweaking. I don't mind it at all. So now I'm just figuring out what the edge loop I should do without, because I feel like we got too many. So I think I'm gonna delete this one, just down to the forehead, and I'm gonna delete the edge, just because it's way easier to control with less polygons. And you can always, as I said earlier, you can always just put in some new polygons. It's not a big deal. I think I'm gonna smooth this out a bit. So you can see this really fucks when you have too little polygons or too wide space between them. It fucks it up a bit when you try to smooth it. So sometimes I just do it manually. And I mean, it's not a problem. So there's still some funny stuff here. That's a bit better. So let's see if there's anything in the front view we should change. If I turn on the X-ray, I genuinely like the flow around the eyes, but I think this should follow the eyebrows a bit more. You can see that it's a bit wider here, but also over here it's a bit thinner. So I think we have hit the right kind of the right size and shape of the head. So now I'm just gonna add in under the cheek. So if we go to the side view, I think I'm gonna select maybe this one and just extrude it. Merge it to the right vertices, and let's check it out. So it might be that we want one more to go from here. And I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm just gonna merge these two. this is not a total big deal how the edge loops are down here. But I think it's always nice to consider how the shapes are going to be and try to mimic that in your modeling, and the way you are placing the edge loops, even though you don't have a clear plan on how they should be. So I would say there is no rules, but it's always good to just try to follow the modeling not instructions but tips on how to make the edge loops. So you can see we get the shape of the cheek, which gives us a better idea on how again how to measure. And I'm gonna extrude this to the side in this fashion, because this is where we want our neck to be. So you can see we are getting pretty far with this model, and that's awesome. I mean, that's what we want, right? So it's almost time for the ear. And I'm just gonna extrude this downwards. Oops. I mean, most of the problems that I see when people are modeling are that their edge loops are too uneven. Sometimes the edge loops might be right, but it takes a lot of patience to make the right edge loops. And you can see, even though I've been modeling a lot of faces, I still have a lot to learn, and I still can't get the nose right, for example. I still have to try to figure out the best way to do it. So it's a lot about having the patience and tweaking and trying to get the right shape. I think everybody would agree on that. But I mean, it's also fun because you're shaping something from nothing, and that's really amazing. So I want to leave just a hole for the air. So you can see it starts a bit longer in. So I'm just gonna extrude this and oops. And merge it. So you can always just try to reposition your edge loops. if you feel like some tweaks should be made. And this is just a basic shape. I haven't gone into detailing yet. But I mean, it's easy to detail when you have the basic shape of the head. So one thing to consider is that there is a line. If we go to the front view, oops, we can see that we need to put this in some more, but there is a muscle going down from the ear and down to this this joint down here. So we want to have that as well in our edge flow, and that's really not that hard to accomplish. We're just gonna extrude a line that goes downward, and I'm just gonna take these edges and pull them in. A lot. Just because our neck shouldn't be it shouldn't be a big neck. Yes, just gonna scale it. I use scale sometimes just to make it more nicely. Oops. So if we go to the front, we can see it fits a lot better now. So I mean, sometimes when I model, I spend way too long just looking at the model, because I mean, when you make a nice model, it's just nice to look at it. But you should be aware of that you don't really get too much done when you're just looking at the model. So it's really dumb, I think, just to sit down and look at the model. So I think that the next thing we should do is to add that line. And I know that I don't know how the ear is going to be yet, but I know that I want kind of an edge on the jaw. So I'm just gonna do that with this little polygon, and I'm gonna extrude it again to kind of get this shape that I want, that should go down. And I can see that it doesn't fit with my other side, so I'm just gonna insert an edge loop and fit it to the head shape. So it fits better. And then I'm just gonna merge it. And now for the extrusion. And you can kind of see how the line goes on this picture. So I'm just gonna roughly place it. It's just so we can get that edge loop that we want, and make that nice not dent but shape on the neck. And then we can add an edge loop more, just because we want to be able to make the two sides fit each other, so we can actually just extrude this one to make it fit. So yeah, I'm not sure about this hole, but I mean we can just fill it for now and then make a edge loop. So that kind of takes care of it. Maybe use the smooth tool a little bit. I think that's actually okay, and you can see it makes it mesh in a nice way. So maybe the not I mean it shouldn't be this sharp right here. So I might want to make the transition a bit more smooth between the edges. Yeah, so I think it's hard to be sure on how your air is going to be, because you don't know how many edges there are going to be around it. But we will add that soon. For now, I would like to work a bit more on the neck. Not make the neck, but yeah, kind of make the neck. So you can obviously see that it will need a bit of tweaking, but I think it's getting there. You might want some volume on this, so you can actually just add an edge loop and then pull it out. So I mean, this shape we got under our cheek or jaw. Oh, sorry, not cheek, jaw. It's kind of hard to define. Oops. So if we look at the picture, we can see that we have some definition, and it's kind of a squarish shape. I think we in some way have that, but not quite. And it might be that we need some more definition here in this area. But I don't think it looks too bad. I think I've been saying that a lot. Oops. Alright. So I think that this wraps up this tutorial. It's not done because we still need to add the ear and the details around the mouth. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna start on the ear.